What's up? Oh boy, we're starting a good one today. My mic is pulling my headphones, which are actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna actually I will. My headphones don't really do anything. They don't really do anything. I can't hear anything different whether I have them on or I have them off. But I did hear Tim Ferriss one day say that it makes the audio slightly better. So, you know what? Let's just go with it. Otherwise, really there's no reason to have them on other than my kids are upstairs running rampant. My wife is up there too. And this just helps me feel in the zone. You know, it's like, I'm ready, man. My hands are taped. My hands are taped. I got my gloves on. I'm ready to rock and roll. So right now we're going to record AMXkids. 18. Oh, we started a good one. We started a good one. We started a good book. Yeah. We certainly did. Certainly did. Hello, Maggie. It's a good one, man. It's a good one. Intro. That is intro. All right, so let's get ready to rock and roll. I hope everyone had a nice Monday or are having a nice Monday. As we wind down, I had a very nice day. Any day that I can spend predominantly learning is a good day, and I did. So that was pretty fun. Good bit of reading today, good bit of actually lesson planning, more lesson planning. I'm planning throughout the week. I'm reading The Good Neighbor, The Life and Work of Fred Rogers. I was looking for the exact title, but I don't have that book in front of me. But that is what it's called, The Life and Work of Fred Rogers. And I'm very excited for it because Mr. Rogers is a model of what Dred and I are building. And from very early on, Dred had said, that my similarities to what Mr. Rogers does is very similar. And we believe in that. We believe in education. We believe in lifelong learning. And we believe in making it fun and interesting and entertaining, really. It is that blend of entertainment and education that drives us. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dive into the next book up on AMXkids. And that is Where the Red Fern Grows. Where the red fern grows. Very excited for this one because it's about dogs and boys, and I loved my dog when I was a boy. So let's get cracking. Okay, remember this is AMXkids, so I'm talking to you kids. So if I sound like I'm talking down to you, Facebook Livers, it's because I am. Because I'm talking to kids. I'm pretending you are kids, right? That's who I'm pretending. And how about this? I'm going to use this nugget, and hopefully, I'll tell you, man, it probably doesn't have a place in the episode, but I'll tell you this. So I'm reading this Mr. Rogers book, and Mr. Rogers learned, right? He worked in television at NBC before he got his own station, went back to Pittsburgh to work for PBS, and what became public broadcasting. And he asked a guy who had a cowboy show, I forget his name, I think it was Gabe or something like that. But he said, how do you do it? How do you act? How do you project your message correctly to the audience? And the established guy said that the way that you connect with an audience that is not really there and you don't know where they are or if they're listening is to pretend that you're speaking to one, what do you call him, buckaroo, because he was a cowboy, one buckaroo. He said, pick a buckaroo and pretend you're talking to him. So I'm talking to you, buckaroo. Got it? Got it. All right, let's rock and roll because I'm talking to you, buckaroo. All right, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Let's rock and roll. 1, 2, 3. Hello, my friends. Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of AMXkids. And today we start a new book. But before I tell you the book that we're starting, I want to throw this out there. I love AMX. I love AMXkids. I love hitting live on my Facebook. I love recording. I love hitting record on my podcast software. I love it. But I especially love AMXkids because of this. These books bring me back to my youth. These books bring me back to the excitement, the confusion, the scariness, the intimidation, the awesomeness, the every aspect of my youth. And that's where you're at. And I'm telling you this, that no matter how hard it seems, you'll get through it, period. You will get through it. And I sincerely hope that AMXkids helps you get through it. We've learned from S.E. Hinton in The Outsiders, and we're going to learn with Where the Red Fern Grows. And if your parents listen to AMX, they're going to learn that I'm learning from Mr. Rogers that any way to express yourself, any way to get you out of you is healthy and beneficial. And we're going to talk about a book today that's close to my heart. And this is one of the two books, so probably this and The Outsiders, in Hatchet, were recommended the most for me to cover on AMXkids. And truthfully, I don't remember reading Where the Red Fern Grows in its entirety. I can't tell you details of the story. I remember having the book, because let me tell you this, kids, I used to think it was cool to have the books, but I didn't read them. That's kind of missing the whole picture, right? That's not actually, you're not getting it just by having the book. I remember, and you might say, do you kids carry pencil boxes anymore? I remember when I was a kid, I had a little Snoopy pencil box. It was yellow. And I used to hear all my new pens and pencils and markers. I used to hear them jingle around and snap and crack around inside that box. I thought it sounded cool. I didn't really use them for anything, but I still thought it sounded cool. I thought it was cool to have these books and to carry these books. But I'm learning now as an old man, a 37-year-old man with kind of graying hair, that wow, there's magic in these books. What's contained in these books. These books are written. I need you to understand this. I need you to learn this and comprehend and just take my word for it. These books are written to help you sift your way through the obstacles and challenges that you're facing in your youth. I promise you that. In these books, as I'm going through these books again with the perspective of a 37-year-old man and father, I'm realizing, whoa, these books are helping me too sift through my own problems and obstacles and challenges. So trust me when I say that there's magic and wisdom in these books. Let's get cracking with Where the Red Fern Grows. Now today's episode, we're going to focus on the intro. There's a couple page intro, but there were a lot of good points that I want to bring out. And I also want to interject my story of my dog. Because this book is about a boy and his dog. So heck, I'm going to tell you about a boy, me, and my dog, Doc. But let's get cracking here. So this what I'm going to read, the quotes here, is from the introduction by Claire Vanderpool, and she's an award-winning author. Where the Red Fern Grows is written by Wilson Rawls. So Claire tells us, where the red fern grows, quote, taps into the wellspring that runs deep in all of us, the desire for adventure, discovery, room to wander in the real love that exists between a boy and his dogs. Let me repeat those few words there. Adventure, discovery, and room to wander. This book taps into the wellspring. That means it touches my heart. It touches my soul. It touches my being because it makes me remember the desire for adventure, discovery, room to wander. That, my friends, is the essence of life. That's why I'm drawn to people like Bear Grylls, or that's why I'm drawn to movies where people go out. I just watched The Greatest Showman the other night. That's why I'm drawn to movies like that and stories like that. The idea of adventure and discovery and room to wander, that's it. That's where it lies. That's the point. I have a tattoo, Carpe Diem. You know what Carpe Diem means? Seize the day. I look at life as an opportunity, and I truly look at it this way. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to experience. Look, you have one life. This kind of is a pep talk, but I'm going to get into details from the book. But you have one life and you have one existence. That's it. So you either seize the day right? You make the most, you carpe diem, you make the most of every day, or you don't. But to me, the idea of the game, right? The game is to gain as much wisdom and experience as you can. To me, that's what it's all about. These opportunities to live and learn and ask questions and read books and travel and experience new culture and music and food and people. That's to me what it's about, this idea of adventure, discovery, room to wander. Now, of course, your values, those things that are important to you, maybe it's family, maybe it's loyalty, maybe it's hard work, maybe it's determination, maybe it's humor, maybe it's authenticity, maybe it's simplicity, maybe it's humor, maybe I already said humor. It's those values that are going to shape, they're going to keep you focused on your true north, where you truly want to go in life. Your values are going to keep you focused on your true north, and they're going to shape that adventure, that discovery, and that wander. So it's not like I'm just going to say to you, close your eyes and walk out into the world of experience. No, we want to have our values, what we view as important. We want to have those values shape our experiences, shape our adventure, our discovery, and our wandering. Claire also goes on to say this. Billy Coleman, the main character of the book, quote, Billy Coleman is the kid we all wish we still were, aspiring, hopeful, steadfast. Like Billy, I had dreams that would not be quieted. So I have two different messages here. The first message is for this. For the kids listening, don't lose your aspiration, your hope, and your steadfastness. Being steadfast is being convicted, a vocabulary word with a vocabulary word. Being steadfast is believing in something, pursuing something, and not wavering off course. That's steadfastness. So for the kids, don't leave that aspiration. Don't lose that hope. Don't lose that steadfastness. That's what it's about. You know, I watch my son, Rocky, who's 2. I watch my daughter, Gracie, who's 5. I watch their thirst. I watch their energy. I watch their ambition just to do simple things. And to me, I just watch them and I think to myself, that's what it's all about. You know, my son is 2. He doesn't have a care or a worry in the world. I just watch him wander around our house all day, try new things, pick up new things, probably break some things, probably spill some things, but he'll learn in time. With help from mom and dad, he'll learn in time. But it is that, it's that aspiration. It's that steadfastness. It's that hope that he's still after. And it's my job as a parent. And it's your job, Gracie and Rocky, if you're listening to this one day, it's your job as a kid to not let that stuff go. And for the parents out there, for the grown-ups, for the mentors out there listening, go to the storage bin and get out that aspiration, get out that hope, and get out that steadfastness. It is not too late. It is not too late at all. There's your 2 messages. For the kids, don't ever lose it. For the grown-ups, go get it out of the closet. There was a short period in my life. Where my dreams were quieted. You know, you hear all the time when you're a kid, you should dream big, aim for the clouds, that way if you miss, aim for the stars, that way if you fall short, you'll land in the clouds. That sounds pretty, that sounds cool, and that sounds fun. But how many people really do it? Because here's the truth about dreams. One, you have to act, right? You have to do, or your dreams will never come true. Your dreams will just be a hope. And I heard this saying recently that hope is not a strategy. I love that idea. Right? So you have these dreams, you identify these dreams, you aspire, you hope, you're steadfast, but then you got to act, you got to do something, or those dreams are never going to come true. But there was a short period in my life where my dreams were quieted. So I had grown up with these dreams. You know, my dreams as a kid were to win a state championship, a PIAA, a Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association state championship in wrestling. Those were my hopes and dreams. Everything I did. Now, of course, there's a little bit of exaggeration there because I liked to eat cake and ice cream, just like the other kids. But the majority of what I did was to help me achieve those hopes and those dreams. And then I took that hope and, even though I fell short, I took a new hope and dream. Become an All-American in college wrestling, one of the top 8 in the country in college wrestling. I took that dream with me. And then I fell short of that dream. And then for a period of my life, for about 3 years, I forgot about my dreams. I was at a place I thought I wanted to be. And all those dreams that caused me to to get up and train hard and sacrifice and be very disciplined, all those dreams, they were kind of put away in the corner, and I forgot about them. But after a short time, I quickly woke up, and I can promise you, and this book is about adventure, discovery, room to wander, falling in lines with having hopes and dreams and not letting those hopes and dreams be quieted. I quickly woke up, right? I quickly woke them up. I said, knock, knock, knock. Hey, dreams, can you do me a favor? Can you wake up? Because we're going on a mission. We're going on a mission to accomplish every single stinking one of you. So here's the 3-step process. Step number 1, dream. Step number 2, do. Step number 3, don't stop. That's it. That's what it's all about, folks. It really is as simple as that. Step number 1, dream. Step number 2, do. Step number 3, just don't stop. Keep on going. Moving on to the last point of the day. Again, this book, it was recommended a fair amount by listeners of the show, Where the Red Fern Grows. Like I said, I don't clearly remember the book. I don't clearly remember the story. But on the cover, if you do get this book, you're going to see that there's a boy and there's 2 dogs, and they're out in the forest or the woods, and they're running, right? So that's that wander, that adventure. And the Claire tells us in the intro, quote, "The best dog stories are never just about the hunt or the adventure. They're about discovery, friendship, and love." There's that word discovery again. And those 2 words, friendship and love. In line with Mr. Rogers. And if you're young enough that you don't know who Mr. Rogers is, you probably know who Daniel Tiger is. So Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood is the modern rendition of Mr. Rogers. So if I say Mr. Rogers, you can just think of Daniel Tiger. But this idea of friendship and love, discovery, helping other people, again, that's a common theme that I'm looking to find in Where the Red Fern Grows. Claire tells us, quote, "I look back on my younger years with such clarity. Those early experiences so new and formative." So my advice to you youngsters, whether it's Gracie and Rocky listening or wherever you are, whatever you're doing, is don't try to figure it all out right now. Claire in the introduction to this book is telling us that those early years, those early experiences were so new and formative. They will shape you, and they're confusing as all get out. Trust me, I think back to some of the confusion in middle school, and it still blows my mind how confusing it was. That's fine. That's the way it is. You're not supposed to get it. You're 12, you're 13, you're 11, you're 10, you're 9. You don't have to get it right now. But just dream, do, and don't stop, and you're going to get your way through it. And remember what I said early on here, this idea of expressing yourself, right? Wandering, expressing, dreaming, adventuring, discovering. Don't hesitate. Don't keep it all inside. Don't try to figure it all out. Certainly don't keep it all inside. Talk to your teachers, your coaches, your parents, your mentors, etc. Talk to them about all the stuff that's going on. Now I want to throw in, this is going to be a little bit about me, because part of the reason I picked this book was because I love dogs. And when I was a boy into a man, I had a dog, and he was really special to me. And it's an experience, very formative experience on me as a boy, but also me as a man, kind of learning what love is and what a relationship is, and the idea, and I might actually choke up a little bit here thinking about him, Doc. But when I was a kid, I'll give you a little story. When I was in 8th grade, my girlfriend at the time called my parents. I had no idea. My girlfriend at the time called my parents, and she said, "Mrs. Brenneman, would it be okay if I got Charlie a dog for Christmas?" And my mom said, no, I don't think we're, in a situation where that would be okay. So then my mom talked over with my dad, and they thought, you know what, if he ever finds out about this, he's going to be very upset. I've never told this story out loud in public. And so she called her back. She said, sure, you can get him a dog. So I remember as clear as day, I went over to my girlfriend's house, and it was a big to-do. And there were her siblings, her parents, I believe my parents were still there, and I was like, what's going on here? I'm kind of embarrassed anyway, because I'm in junior high and have a girlfriend, and we're exchanging gifts, and I don't even know what's going on. I'm nervous, and my family's here, and your family's here. What's going on? And she handed me a box. I still had no idea. And inside this box, I open up the box, and there's this little black and white dog with floppy ears looking at me, smiling, licking my face, and all of a sudden I had a dog. And I had always wanted a dog. I had always wanted to be that boy and his dog. And I was 13 when I got him. And he stayed with me for about 16 years. And back in 2010, he passed away. But through that time, so through those almost 16 years, there were times when I was a kid, when I was a boy, and my parents would take most care of him because I was a boy, and they would teach me responsibility. But, you know, they were picking up the slack where I left off. And then I started to get older and older, and then initially I went away to college. So I was away from Doc for a couple years, and then I came back post-college. But what happened was this dog, this best friend, was with me from the time I was a boy until I was like 32 years old. 16 years I had him. Side by side. There were times that we'd be together more or be together less. But he was with me through all of that confusion. Through all those years, through all those challenges and obstacles and crying and just laying on my bed and cuddling with Doc and probably crying on his floppy ears and having him lick my tears away. That's what it's all about. That's what I'm looking forward to in this book, Where the Red Fern Grows. Now, if you're a youngster, I know that my niece and my sister and her husband, they just got a dog. I'm not telling you to go out and get a dog because it is a very big responsibility. But I am telling you that I am very excited to learn, to read Where the Red Fern Grows. I hope you share in this story Where the Red Fern Grows, about friendship, about love, about a boy and his dogs, about adventure, about discovery, because to me, that's what it's all about. And here's a little known fact. I have Doc's name within the tattoo on my arm. What? Just little. It's just little. But if you look real close, you can see Doc written in the Spaniard tattoo on my arm. So that's it, folks. That's AMXkids 18. Doc, thanks for being my dog, dude. I love you, buddy. I also have a dog now. Her name is Josie. She's a little cutie, too. She's a little French bulldog. But anywho, this is AMXkids 18, Where the Red Fern Grows. I'm very much looking forward to the next several weeks talking about this book, extracting the learning principles, the life learning principles from this book. Thanks for tuning in, folks. New episodes are coming out every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Be sure to subscribe. iTunes, whatever podcast app you use, search out Spaniard Show, AMXkids. Comes out every Tuesday at 4 p.m. AMX, where I talk about big people books, where I talk about adult books, is every Monday through Friday. Again, you can subscribe. Spaniard Show on iTunes or whatever podcast app you use. Thanks for coming back, folks, and interact on social media, especially you kids, youngsters. I want to talk about these books. I want to talk about these AMXkids books. We have the story of Ferdinand. We have Where the Red Fern Grows. We have Hatchet. We read The Breadwinner. We read Jocko Willink's Warrior Kid from Wimpy to Warrior, the Navy SEAL Way. All these books, all this magic, all this wisdom to talk about at Charlie Spaniard on social media. Go read a book, folks. CharlieSpaniard.com/reading list has all of them. See you next week. That's it. That's it, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow morning for AMX. Have a good evening.